Good afternoon, guys. So today we'll be explaining more about logical functions. So just to give you a glimpse about what logical functions are. So logical functions are usually used to compare multiple values and return an output on whether or not the comparison meets the function's condition. When logical function compares two model, there's a logical operator, right? And for today we have a lot of logical functions for you guys, which include if statement, nested if, and or SUMIF, AVERAGEIF. So first, I'll be explaining further upon if and nested if statements, right? And then we'll go ahead with further other operators. So just to give you a glimpse about what logical function is, it's one of the most popular function in Excel, and it allows us to make a logical comparison between a value and what we can expect. So there are so if we do make a if statement, we have two types of results. It can either be true or either it can be false. These are only the two except like results that we can get from if function. Now we have this Excel sheet in front of us, guys, right? uh, in this we'll be trying to use the if statement to let you know more about how to generally use it. So if we see equal, it will start with equals to. Now what I want is, I want to flag the gross sales per country wise for television, refrigerator, and all the equipments. Uh, the gross sales, I require it to be less than, like, let's say less than 15,000 US dollars, right? For 15,000 is the thing, or let's say 30,000. 30,000, if the gross sale is above than 13,000, 30,000 will be putting it as good. That's how we are going to use if function. If logical test, so we are using the logical test on cell number F278. So that's where we'll be using it. We'll be using it for logical test if it is greater than 30,000. If it's true, what do we want it to say as? And to write as an alphabet, we have to use these columns, right? We'll say good. And if it's false, we'll just keep it as blank, right? And it will show as good because it's above 30,000. And here we can follow up with the whole slide here. Now it's below 30,000, that's why it's not written as anything. Or it can also, if you want, it can be written as flag. Now we want everything is flagged which is below 30,000. Now, me being an operations executive at this company, I can know that I need to work more upon Germany and all the nations which is flagged, and less upon these good countries where my gross sales are much better, right? That is one of the functions of if function. Now, to explain you further about nested if, nested if is something in which we use a if function in another if function. Let's suppose that we want sales. If sales is above 30,000, it's let's say 30,000. Yeah, 35, 33,000. Exceptional. Whereas if it's above 25,000, it's good. And if it's below 20,000, it's way less, right? So it's bad. Now if we use the if function, we won't be able to use the if function because it can just give us two results. Thereby we will be using the nested if function, which will start as in like equals to if gross sales of this one. Wait a second. So sorry. If logical test is upon this cell, so here if it's greater than greater than 33,000, it's exceptional, as we have marked. If not, we'll be using another if function. Inside a if function, we are using another if function because now we have three of these to manage. Here we'll be using good as the parameter 25,000. I mean, first we have to select this again, and if it's above 25,000, 25,000, we'll be using it as good. Elsewise, it's bad. Here it is showing the correct answer, right? Now it has all the functions as set: exceptional, good, and bad. It's bad because the sales here is below 20,000, 13,000 here, right? So that's why it's showing as bad. And it's exceptional because it's above 33,000. It's good because it's above 33,000, 25,000. That's why it's good. So this is how we'll be using nested if function. Now following up, we have Tarun to explain you further about other parameters and functions for the same. Go ahead, Tarun. Tarun.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm sharing my screen. So now I will be explaining you guys conditional logic and function. So for that, it is for that we are I took a data of five companies: MRF, ITC, Reliance, SBI, and SP. uh, we have a closing price of these five companies, and we calculated the return on the on the basis of these companies. So now I am applying conditional logic. For the conditional logic, for example, if I'm selecting uh, these four, wait, if I'm selecting these five return, so I have to identify these return as a green if these are up above than zero. So for that, I directly go to the conditional formatting in home page. So click on greater than, and on greater than, uh, select the color. I'm choosing green color if it is greater than zero. So if you put here zero and click and OK, so we can see here that in Reliance return and SBI return, we so we get that two positive returns, which is greater than zero. So if we want to apply this function in all the columns, we just double tap on Pylander and it's done. Now same as if the return is in negative or less than zero. So again we select the five return of the companies. Again click on conditional formatting, then highlighting cell rule, then less than. Now we have to choose the color again. I'm choosing red color and zero again. So now we get a result of those companies whose whose return is less than zero or in a negative. So if we click OK, we get got here. Again we select five return, then fill handle, So this is a conditional logic. So now what we have to do, we have to make a separate column to identify whether all these five companies giving us a positive return or not. So for that, if the company, all these five companies giving positive return, I am writing bull, and if not, I am writing bear. So for that, we use the function and function. So for applying the and function, firstly type if, use if function, type and, use and function. We are using two function here. So for now, we have to determine that all these five companies giving positive return at a one time. So it means the return will be greater than zero. So for that, we will select this, then put a sign of greater than zero. We have to do this for all five companies. So comma, then again ITC, then greater than sign and zero. Again comma, then Reliance, greater than sign, then zero. Again comma for SBI, greater than sign zero, and a comma, then SP return Sun Pharma, then greater than sign and zero, and then in last we have to close the bracket. Now we have to put comma here, and now tell what we want in result. So start inverted comma, we need to type bull, then inverted comma close, then again comma, then start inverted comma again, then we have to write beer, then inverted comma close, and then bracket close. So here we got that for all the five companies, out of five companies, we got only two, Reliance and SBI giving positive return, and MRF and ITC and Sun Pharma giving negative returns. So here is beer. So if we double tap on fill handle, we got all we got all the information uh, about all the companies. So here I'm applying again the conditional formatting. So if so, so if the text is containing beer, so it will indicate in the red color, and if text is containing bull, it will indicate in green color. Now, like this, we can do conditional formatting, and we can use if and end function together. Now I'm hand over the next task to Vedant.
Yeah, hi, I'll be taking over from Vishal. Yeah, so is the screen visible right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So all of you here can see there's a table with a data that shows the various equipments that is sold to various countries. So if I'm going to ask you as to say what was the gross sales in Germany, what would be the first step that one would take? You're not going to go manually go there, check, right, whatever the value was for Germany for refrigerator, then again go for washing machine, or then go for, let's say, television. For that, you can go and use the SUMIF function. So the SUMIF function basically helps you to categorize the data in a way data analyzing. At the same point, it makes sure that your work is now much more less clerical than before. So you start off with typing SUMIF function. Just a second. So you can select the range. So range happens to be the countries from which we want to calculate the gross sales. So I'm going to select from B278 to B295. Then I'm going to put comma. Then I'm going to put my criteria as Mexico because I want to see the gross sales in Mexico. I'm going to say Mexico. Then I'm again going to put a comma. And then my sum range happens to be from the gross sales of the various equipments from different countries. So I'm going to select this range and then I'm going to hit enter. So as you can see, the total gross sales for Mexico only as a country is 37 is roughly 3,76,110 of various equipments. So this is where you use SUMIF function. We can do the same with Canada as well. You put is equal to sign, put SUMIF. Again, you select the same range, all the countries. You put a comma. In double quotes, you put the country's name. Again, comma. And then you again select the range, which is your gross sales of various countries for various equipments. You hit enter. And this is the total gross sales for Canada across various equipments. You can do the same for washing machine as well. So you guys can try it out. Now I'm going to explain you the NOT function. So NOT function basically is used to reverse the logical value of any given cell. So it's used because many companies want to use that for their conditional testing. They want to use for error handling, for data filtering. So how do you use NOT function is, I'll just give an example for that. Basically, first type NOT. And there's only one criteria that you have to fill in. So let's just say that I want to say the refrigerators sold in Germany were more than the televisions sold in Canada. So once I hit enter, they're saying it's true. So you can clearly see here that the refrigerators sold in Germany are way less than the televisions sold in Canada. But here the function came as true. So this is what NOT function does. It reverses the logical value. It's supposed to be that it's false, but it is reversed. This is where you use the NOT function. You can go same for, let's say that I want to say the washing machines sold in France, which is the units sold in France were roughly 2,178. So what I can say is I want to test whether the washing machines sold in France are more than 2,500 or not. So I'm going to put in saying, I'm going to select the cell value. I'm going to put greater than sign, and I'm going to put 2,500. Just a second. Yeah. And once I click enter, you're going to say true. Now the clear answer is false. You know the value isn't more than 2,500. But the answer that you'll get, it's true. This is what NOT function does. It reverses the logical value. So from here on, Vishal will be taking over and complete the remaining functions. Vishal, over to you.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so now I'll be sharing my screen. Is the screen visible?
Yes, it is.
So basically, I'll be carrying out the average if function. So why do we find average? So here I have taken a hypothetical examples or hypothetical data where we need to find the average. So let's say we have taken here the data of SIV. This is an hypothetical data. So uh, here we are calculating what returns, what are the average returns that we got on the year 2012, 13, 14, or 15. Okay, so now how to use them? So here is the formula. It will start with equals to average if, then bracket on. Then we need to select the range. Uh, the first parameter we will enter The first parameter we will enter is the range of the cells that we want to apply the criteria against. So here we'll select the years. So, yeah. Here we have selected the years. Now, now we'll enter the time, like of the year, of which year we need the average of. So here I'll select 2012. Okay. Then we'll the second parameter will be, we will need to enter the criteria in which it will be applied. So here the range will be from 6 to 50 and 57. Yeah. So now we'll close the formula and we'll press enter. So see, here we got the average of year 2012. Now, if we now this is the formula which will be applying for the subsequent years, like let's say 2013 or 14. So in 13 we have only one type of return. In 14 we have two. So let's take another example of doing the by doing with the year 2014. So again we'll put equals to, then average if, bracket open, and again we need to select this comma. Here the year will change now. We'll take 2014, then comma. Then again we need to select the range. Then bracket close, and then we'll press enter. See. So here we got the average of year 2014. So this is how average if function works. Now my second function is COUNTIF function. So the basically the COUNTIF function, if you have the range of cells, let's say you have the range of cells here, and you want to count the number of cells. Let's say if this is the long data, you need to count the number of cells. That means a specific criteria. So we'll take a short example. We'll take from this data itself. So we'll start with the formula. So it goes like is equals to count if, bracket opens. I will select the year again. Okay. Then we will put comma. Then we'll select the criteria over here. Okay. 2014. And then we'll close the bracket and then we'll say enter. Okay, 2. So now here you can see 2. So here there are two data related to year 2014. You can see here 2014 there are two data. So that's why the cell highlighted here 2. So this is the COUNTIF function basically works if you have a specific range of cells. This is a specific range of cells, and you need to count the data. Let's say how many times 2014 is coming, how many times 2012 is coming. So we'll use count function in this scenario. So yeah, this was my task, and I
Uh, Thanks everyone for the insightful session. We feel that we have explained every logical functions that's there to explain, and that's about it. Have a very great evening, and thank you.